Actually, we're just going to, we're going to have our 15 minutes so we can go to the reception and can continue this conversation. 4 years ago, Highwater Women started this symposium on investing with impact, and Lisa Kleisner, who was our first keynote, was very interested in the role of women in this conversation. So for that period of time, Highwater Women has been thinking about the role of women and investing with impact. And we've intentionally used the words investing with impact as opposed to impact investing because we recognize there are lots of different interpretations of what that means. And Clara Miller, who was our keynote the second year, reminded us that every investment has an impact. And so part of what we think about is all those things, but putting together women and impact investing, we think there's something really compelling about that. And I'd like to ask Ellen and Bonnie what you think about that. What is it about women in impact investing?
So, thank you, Drian. So, Ellen Remmer, I'm with the Philanthropic Initiative, so that's a philanthropy advising and field building organization. And been involved with women's philanthropy for many years. But around women and investing, we've been hearing all day long, and we all know that women are going to be controlling more and more of our wealth. I mean, we know all of that. And what we haven't been talking about very much today, though, is the fact that women, while we are going to be controlling more of our wealth, aside from millennials, women are really not very engaged in their investing versus men. They don't spend as much time on it. They're not as confident, although they're just as knowledgeable. They are less likely to take responsibility. Again, nice news is that seems to be different in the millennials, but in all the other age cohorts. So we believe, though, that that actually engaging women, well, and of course we all know women are more interested in values-based investing. And so there's this gap in terms of, and then we think that women are investing maybe, we don't really know, but it looks like about at the same rate, 9 or 10% are actually doing something. So the gap between what they're interested in and what they're doing is really large for women. So, but we believe that impact investing is a way to have women engage with their investing. And by engaging with their investing, actually influence their families, their peers, and influence the capital markets. And I get there from, as we all do, from personal experience too. So I work in philanthropy, so I'm lucky enough I go to all kinds of great conferences, and probably 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I think I first heard Jessie Smith Noyes Foundation talk about investing the endowment for mission. And I came home and I told my family foundation trustees and I told our advisors, and they all smiled and said, that sounds nice, but we don't want to sacrifice return. So I did, I whined and moaned for 10, 12 years, and, I kept pressing, and finally I actually had to take action. My husband also thought I was nuts. But I took I had a trust, so I took half my trust money and I moved it to a firm that just did impact investing. Went in the horse race, of course, and it did just great the last 3 or 4 years. But I think most interesting of all was that I suddenly liked engaging with my investments. I'd been sitting in on family office meetings around investments and I was bored. I have an MBA, I was bored. I was really it's now fun. I love going to that. So I think there's kind of this translation. I really do believe that my story, could be the story of many women. So, Bonnie?
Yes, and so I'm Bonnie Mullenbrock with Investor Circle. We are an impact investing network, early stage, so I think maybe angel group for socially and environmentally engaged companies, trying to have impacts in that regard. We've been around for 25 years next year. Invested over $200 million in 330 and counting companies. And so I've been at this for a while and seen it come a long way. And I think what's very interesting about this recently is that right now 45% of our members are women. That we have always been, since I've been engaged in Investor Circle now 5 years, we've always been ahead of the curve in terms of venture investing, early stage companies. with the number of women that have engaged with Investor Circle. And now we're being even more deliberate about that, so that's gotten us to 45%. I think when it's always been higher, that is exactly because of what you said, that the impact investing opportunity is an opportunity for people to connect their money with something that is meaningful to them. And hence we have a room that has more gender diversity than most that you would see in Silicon Valley or otherwise in direct investing. Now, that's nice. I think what gets really exciting is then what that means for the market. If you think of Investor Circle like a little market, entrepreneurs are coming to us, our investors are engaging. The other important thing to note is in the last 5 years, 40% of the companies that have received capital from our network have been women-led companies. I say, yeah, thank you. There's still more work to do on the amount of capital that they're getting, work to do there. Maybe they're just all more capital efficient companies, but we need to look at that. But I'm sure there is a direct correlation between the fact that our room has more women in it and the women that are getting funded. And it's not just because it's only the women investing in the women-led companies. It changes the dynamic of the room, and it normalizes that women are investors and women are entrepreneurs, women are business people that are doing this very effectively. That changes the tone. And it is this normalization of women engaging in investing, as well as the normalization of asking these questions about the social and environmental impacts of your investments. It's something that's really important in how we change everything. And so having these women engaged in what we're doing, and then going out and asking questions beyond, and the questions that you were asking beyond, that changes things. It normalizes these questions until everyone considers this relevant. It becomes relevant when everybody's asking those questions. So I think there is a critical role for women to play, and impact investing has a critical role to play in engaging women in their investing.
So are you saying this is just investing?
Yes, and this needs to be investing. I will be happy when our network is no longer needing to be necessary, because this is how we think about this, because it's good investing, because you're making sure you're thinking of all your stakeholders and you're assessing comprehensively your risks, and you are assessing and not missing opportunities because you are aware of what is happening with your customers and your and other constituents. It's good investing.
And you're assessing your impact.
And you're assessing your impact, because that is the means that you are aware of these opportunities and risks.
So 4 years ago, we started this symposium thinking that family offices and private foundations would be the first movers in this world of investing with impact, or impact investing by some. Yet I come from the traditional institutional world, and I would say the traditional institutional world is looking at this as well. So I personally take a big tent approach. I do think it is a big tent, and I do believe in having this sort of messiness, innovative thought process, because if we do things the same way we've been doing things, we will continue down a path that we've always been going down. So we've talked about new actors in this conversation: women, millennials, minorities, many different groups coming to the table and making investment decisions. And we've talked about encouraging and engaging with women in different ways. Ellen, do you want to talk a little bit about what are you doing about women and impact investing?
Sure. So because of this experience, and also because I just believe that women will be controlling the wealth and have this opportunity to step into a leadership role, was able to be in a position to partner with Mission Investor Exchange, which is the membership organization of foundations that work in the mission and impact investing, and a group called Mission Throttle, and then another foundation, the Jacqueline and Gregory Zehner Foundation. And we started an initiative that is looking at how to really intentionally and collaboratively identify strategies for deepening women's engagement in impact investing, with the goal of accelerating the development of impact investing ecosystem overall. So we've gone through a learning stage of trying to understand what what's out there, what are the promising approaches, what are the barriers. I mean, it's been talked about today as well. You don't see very many women on investment committees, either in foundations or institutions, and what's going on with that, and how can we do something there. So we've been doing a landscape scan, and we're mapping the efforts right now that are aimed at helping women activate their interest. And we pulled together an advisory committee of folks from all kinds. We've got High Water Women and others on this, and we're doing a planning meeting around identifying some of the priority and most promising strategies, the strategies that can really help to bring women into a connection with their investing and with impact investing. And then the idea is that we're going to be looking for those who are part of this to develop some commitments around in a coordinated way, so that we're connecting the dots. And I think Jackie Vandenberg said earlier, so it's an and we can do this, and we can do this together. So we're really excited about it, excited about partnering with. We're just kind of the convener along with Mission Investor Exchange, so we're excited about it. Bonnie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've been pleased to be working with High Water Women on one of the approaches that you identified in the survey, which is engaging women in comfortable places where they can talk about this with their peers and learn about people's direct experiences, stories about that, different ways that they can engage, whether it's public markets or direct investing or other opportunities, and creating these opportunities around themes and areas of passion for people. So again, it's about figuring out what you care about and having an opportunity to engage with that. So we've learned a lot about that this year, and have had some people that then have gone on to take action as they felt more empowered by these kinds of conversations. And so we will be doing more of these salons. We'll be taking it to Boston in November. So we're excited about that, and to continue learning and thinking about how best this can help people find their avenue to take action, to take the first step that then can lead to others. And there's not one way to do it. So I think there's a great opportunity here to think through this and be coordinated around what we can do to help people move towards taking that step.
So if there were a call to action, and I don't know if Gayla's still here, yes. If there's a call to action, what would that call to action look like? What would it be?
You want me to go first? Well, of course, I have to do a shameless self-promotion that Investor Circle is meeting on this Thursday from noon to 2 at our wonderful sponsor, Oric. And if anyone would like to check out the early stage direct investing opportunities, we'd love to have you. It might not be the best fit for you, or you might be in a different role. You could be at a financial firm. And so I want to stress, I encourage everybody to take one action. And I want to stress that even asking a question is an action. If you're kind of new to this and wondering, how do I possibly engage? Go back to your firm and say, what are we doing about this? How are we thinking about this? If you're thinking about your own investments, think about, what do I care most about? And where would I like to think about how my money can make a difference to something that matters to me? Think about that, and then start asking some questions. And they matter. It starts to normalize this, because if we're all asking these questions, there's no choice but to address it.
Yeah, and I wanted to go second, because I think asking the questions is absolutely critical, and we've got to do a lot of asking the questions. I learned that I had to actually then take action too, right? And sometimes you've got to take a bold step sometimes, and just move your money and invest your time in doing that. It's been exciting for me, because now my family foundation is actually making some change. So we changed advisors, and so it all ripples out eventually, asking questions and then taking some bold action.
Is there anything you would like to close out this conversation for this whole day about women, millennials, investing with impact that you'd like to share?
It's inspiring to me, after being in this for a while, to see how the conversation has changed, and the fact that we're talking about engaging different groups and recognize the importance of that. And it's part of a more comprehensive, better approach to investing. And the fact that we're beyond, should we even be thinking about this at all? Thinking about social and environmental impacts, to making sure we have many people engaged in appreciating that element and how important that is, to be asking good questions. we're making progress. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that, but these conversations have changed, and I think that's exciting, and I appreciate everyone's being here to continue that.
Yeah, I don't think I have much to add, really. It's been, I mean, we've got the choir here. I don't actually get to spend many days with people who are all doing impact investing. It's not my daily life or my daily conference, so it's very exciting. As we all know, there's a big wide world out there that's not talking about this yet, though. We got to talk about it with them.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you both
you.
for everything you do.